ayatani 다 대랑아 촌데라 용ken게 되니 주체진간 정말라 되니 공조 대락한 삼주주인.
So first of all, good evening to everyone who has come to listen to this teaching tonight.
다더니 대랑아초 추수 되니 파치니 되니 그 랑라 되니 아초 차트 제그레스.
So tonight we are going to have a teaching for about 2 hours.
되니 아초 추수 찍다 제가라 되니 메샤크인스.
For 90 minutes I'm going to be speaking.
되니 추수 제가라 되니 아초 정말 반선 드와들 되니 제그인스.
And then we'll have half an hour for some questions and answers.
되니 셔당 되니 아초 근데 되니 사찬드 되니 아초 라마트든 데 고라람부치 고랑 같더니 주소그랬는데 되니 곧 개sol라 남긴 디나라 장코르 타버 추추더니 송지든지 인도 텔레 학보스 테랑알라 야 잠바짱요 말레스.
So this is Lama Thupten's center, and every week there are teachings here at the center, and what I have to say is does not surpass or doesn't go beyond what you're receiving in these teachings.
아니 잠바 베나디나 요페 라마담 캄보다 코랑 남바초 양 참만 아랑게 되니 정치리 되니 가서 상만 잡보리 공소 남긴 계남발라 추추더니 송고요리 델레 학보 양 잠바치가 nga terang dinala yongna new sarbari mato bakaja sarvatin jiyo mares.
And the same goes for the lamas here this evening. They are all my colleagues, and they are just the same as me. So tonight, even though I may be a new person coming before you, what I have to say in itself isn't new.
되니 강타령 다 대랑가 가서 되니 차트 되니 나온돈도 저도 로중거 골라레스.
But in any case, the topic that I'm going to be talking on this evening is lojong.
되니 로중 인디티니 당가서 로티티니 장고야가 김천 가리르세나 데라 김천 요레스.
So lojong, or mind training, there is a reason why we need to train the mind.
되니 나랑서 다르다 내급나 가서 미 참마가 되니 셈데 간지다 보레세나 And
that reason is that the way our minds currently are is like turbid water, murky water.
Tani tambu nekabla ngachu changma semte tindi nyokbo mares tambu ngachu semte nyokbo tindi mares.
In the very, very beginning, initially our minds were not turbid, they weren't murky.
Ina tini ti jis tini ngacho gifkin jambala tene ngacho semte tini nyokpa tindi chaksongwares.
However, subsequently, due to various causes and conditions, our minds became turbid.
Tini perna ngacho tambu ngacho kangba nala yopi tini churuk nala yopi tini perna tigyaga chita ngacho chunthongya tini chu bugo nangi chite rangbab ko chitsala shuja. So
we can say the water that we use or consume in our houses, whether it be the water that we drink or the water that we shower with, to begin with, wasn't contaminated. However, after we have made use of this water, whether for washing ourselves or for other purposes, when it goes down the drain, it is in a contaminated or dirty state. When we look at the water, it appears to us to be in its essence dirty when we look at it with our eyes.
tini tsoba tini dir nyoma dir yana sa yana tini jamba machangwa tini ji sombi jimsenji tini chiti partana tini nyoma dawoda tini tsoba dawo tini nga mukun tongores.
But in actual fact, the basic essence of water has never been dirty. It's never been impure. The basic particles of water themselves are always pure. It is only when they are mixed with other external dirty things, whether it be earth or other contaminants, that that the water appears to us to be dirty or murky.
Teni yinna teni ngatso di kapsi teni chiti nyukman rawo chita chitsokpa te kale korang teni tangmo ta yakbo go tola laryang teni yongtup gres.
However, it's possible for us to restore water or to return it to a state of purity.
Teni korang laryang teni tangmo ta teni re tsarwi kapsi teni ngaro tson tongnayang chokore pekshu tangnayang chokores.
And after we have purified the water or returned it to a pure state, then we can drink it once again.
Teni ngatso pena chapkang nani teni chimaran roya ta ngatso lipo chija bi chimaran roya di chite so yinna ngatso partana pe halipa ga teni chokban ro teni jete yinna korang ga teni nangni teni chokba de so par len sarwi jini chi korang namyong teni changma changkyang teni jes.
So the water that we flush down the toilet or the water that goes down the drain after we take a shower appears to us to be extremely dirty. However, once we purify it or decontaminate it, then we can consume it again. The water itself has always been pure.
Teni di chite ngatso laryang ngatso tongnayang teni chokore ngama korang chokba machik pi gongdang teni nrabu chikpa chikyang teni jes.
So this water, once it has been purified, we can drink it once again, and the state in which we return it to is exactly the same as what it was before it became contaminated.
Teni 대당 잡고 시니 teni ngacho teni semteyang teni 당보 값스 teni ngacho semte pe 장마장장 teni 약보레.
And in just the same way, at the very beginning, initially, our minds were also like this, extremely pure.
Teni ti jila teni gimsen mambola teni tsopa teni nyogma teni chakbares.
Subsequently, for various reasons, our minds became dirty and impure.
Teni ngaso semte tsopa da nyogma teni chakbares ya te gari rezina ngaso sem korango ngodi korang namyang teni tsopa da nyogma da teni chakyo mares. Korang namyang tsang mares.
So even though we talk about the mind becoming impure or turbid, in actual fact, the essence of the mind has never been dirty or pure. This has never been the essence, the fundamental essence of the mind.
Yena teni ngaso semte teni jamba teni ngupo dukpo ngupo tsokpa dang deso dang nyamde teni nji songwares nyamde nji pi kapsi teni ngaso partana ngaso semte changma teni tsokpa dang semte changma teni dukchak teni changma ngo teni chakpa tawo teni nanggares nangsarla teni nanggares.
It's through negative, the contact of our minds or the mixing of our minds with negative and other external contaminants that makes it appear as if the essence or the nature of our mind is dirty or contaminated.
Yenayang teni dongo tola di kapsi ngaso ti sem korang ngodi tsokpa tsawani chakyo marzi korang ngama kandri yina teni zhangres.
But in actual fact, regardless of what our mind is mixed with or adulterated by, its essence never changes. It's always as pure in its basic nature as it always has been.
Korang ngo namyang teni tsangma tsangkyang teni ngangla teni neyo rin yerwa chichiyo mares.
Our minds always abide in a state of original purity. They never, in their essence, become murky or contaminated.
Di yinang ngaso tsokpa jamba dan ji songwi jimsenji teni tsokpa rawo nanggare yinang di kapsi yang 맞춰 심 거랑고 짱마 대당 되니 쪽바 되니 티값이야 되니 거랑고 타듯 뭐 잠바레스
It's through the mixing of our minds with other impurities that they take on the appearance of being impure. But in actual fact, the impurities in this situation are other things. They are external to the mind.
되니 디가스 페랑아서 치공라티니 샤파티나 치데 거랑 쪽바티니 양키르티니 짱마티니 길 되니 고레 대당 라보시니 가서 심 다타드니 짱마 마임바타오드니 난근도와 디 짱마 마임바데 양 아초 양케르드니 디 짱마 양케르 졸고그레스.
So just as we need to purify dirty water to bring it back to a state that we are able to drink, so too do we need to purify our minds, bring them back to their original state.
드니 아초 셈드니 라량드니 짱마 조야 레가데라 되니 로장제 그래서 되니 대랑 가서 샤고야 되레스.
So the work or the activity of bringing the mind back to this state of original purity is what we refer to as mind training or lojong, the topic of our teaching this evening.
되니 가서 짱마 마임바티티 짱마 제고나 텔라티니 탑신인도스.
디연자소나 드그르바카보다.
짱마 마임바티 짱마 조고나 되니 텔라 탑시
So to transform what is impure to a state of purity, there are two methods we can use.
And it's
the same as purifying water, bringing it back to a state of purity. There are two ways of doing this too.
되니 짱마 마임바다 되니 뉴바당 된지 옛나 되니 가춘데 다 짱마 조고나 아주 조탑 그레스 데코 간지 뉴바에 나 가서 때 과랑 하만라 보든지 약부제고나 제탑 그레스.
So let's just say this this cup of water, if it was murky and turbid, then there is definitely a way of us bringing it back to, and always a way of us bringing it back to a state of purity.
되니 짱마조고나 때 탑싱아 소때 탑싱인도스 아주 심 짱마조고나 치당 찍바리 대양인도스.
And there's two ways of doing this. It's the same for our minds as well. There are two ways of restoring it to purity.
되니 가서 탑시 찍디 내가 되니 디츠 랑보 나라 되니 갈레 지네 되니 짱마 되니 조레스.
So the first of these is requires a long duration, slowly bringing it to a state of purity.
되니 인나 때라 되니 거랑라 되니 다 청번 야가지나 청번 마사 청번도 건도 데 마사 망보고 말해서 코갈레 지네 상마시 탑거레스.
And this doesn't require much investment on our part. This is a way of enabling the water to return to purity slowly of itself.
데 탑시 할레발레라 보레즈 가서 치 디포라 강보데 사샤텔라 데라 자르니 데니 가서 텔라 락파이나 장고 보장가 텔라 거쪽 마시니 데디 자르나 데 코랑랑 갈레 데니 상마 차크레스.
And this really easy method is simply resting the cup here and not moving it or shaking it all with our hand, just letting the sediment settle to the bottom of the cup.
되니 데 코랑 셈거 데 코랑 랑거드니 랑가랑드니 상마조레 데라 마사 망보고 말이나 디소테즈 랑보고 그레스.
So this is a way of enabling the water to purify itself. It doesn't require much investment on our part, but it does require a relatively lengthy period of time.
되니 디탑시 찍레스.
So that's the first way or approach.
되니 탑시 니바디 되니 가서 육보드니 장마드니 제그레스. 육보 장마 제그레. 딘 육보 장마 제야 되라. 되니 가서 마사 정번
And the second approach is one of rapid purification, and this approach requires quite a high investment on our part.
대배나 가서 대 잡칸가 나라요 비치다 대소 상마 되니 양결 되니 가서 출차가 차를 그 락설라 되니 되니 상마존이 되니 미남지 양결 통구요레스 된다 보레스 야급 가시까지 되니 제근도 와스.
So we can liken this to the various scientific high-tech means of purifying water sewage and returning it to a state of potability. This is a method that some nations already use.
今天10퍼트가 나라 10퍼트나 공도宇宙飞船 太空的呀 等你10퍼트가 나라 等你等着你跨用了等你过来讲你 다와카시다 로카시나 말 모용 뭐 딘딘도와 딘이 대소에나 딘이 코랑소 치자바당 딘이 코랑소 말 딘이 딘이 디 코랑소 리리숑이 치대서 양견 추차가 딘이 장마시네 양과소야는 통구요레스.
And astronauts who go on space voyages for long periods of time, for a month or a year, this is the technology that they rely on. The water that they use to wash themselves with is then recycled, so they can drink it again.
데니티 욕보 제탑 그래서 빼장마시 그래서 이나한테라 마사 통보 mambugu 그래서.
So this is a fast way of purifying, or fast way of purification. However, this fast way of purification requires quite significant investment.
데니 대당잡보 가서 로장설라양 로중라양 데니 로중 셰츠든지 니어레스.
So in a similar way, there are two approaches to lojong, or mind training.
데니 직디 코랑 마사 침보고 말레스 탑데즈 레라본라 보레스 이나 디초테 랑보고 그레스.
So the first of these is relatively easy and straightforward. It doesn't require much investment, but it does need a lengthy period of time.
데니 데가레지나 가촌도 파신탁바가 데니 로종 제서데레스.
And this approach is that of the Sutric path of perfection.
데니 탑시디라 땡네 가서 로데 장마 시탑 그레스.
And by reliance on this method, it is possible to purify our minds completely.
이나 디초페 랑보고 근도스.
However, this does require a really long time.
가서 치드 코랑 랑거디니 칼레칼리 담마조고나 디소 랑보고 근도와 대당 찍바레스.
So this is just the same as water. In order to purify itself needs a long time. So too, if we are going to follow this path of practice, this requires a long time too.
데니 니바데 아주 셈 그때니 다 장마 조야 디소 빼데니 임족부 디소 통통통통 거 나라 장마 조야다 데니 셈 데니 장마 조 차위 지사 할레바가 장마 약보 용야 덴지가 탑시리 인나 때라 마산 통보고 그때 강레제나 아소 상가 도르지 탁바 데니 로종 제서테레스.
As for the second approach, which is one that doesn't require a long time, in fact can be achieved in a very short time and can achieve a result of extreme purity, this approach though requires a very great investment, and this is the path of the Vajrayana.
데니 티티소 통통거 나라더니 수수랑 그셈 장마조 그래 인나 때라 마사 때좀 통보고 그래.
So it's possible within a very short time to purify one's mind very completely with this approach. However, the investment it requires is significant.
데니 가서 상하 도르지 탁바가 로종 제서당 데니 도 파르신 탁바가 로종 제서더니 강 인나양 탑시 때라 때네 가서 로 장마치 탑 그래 때 장마치 탑 마탑라 캬버요 말이스.
So whether we practice the mind training path of the perfections, the Sutric path, or that of the Vajrayana, it doesn't matter. Both are capable of purifying our minds.
데니 캬버데 가레레즈나 조오티 디수크토 디수키 캬버레즈 지디 벤 요보단 지디 데즈 갈린라고 어디 캬버데레스.
The main difference between the two is one of time. One is requires a much lesser period of time. The other requires a very long period of time.
Teni te nipu kangin na nga zum do pashin thak bayin nan ja teni sang dorji thak bayin nan ja tabshi te la teni nga zu sem de teni changma che tepi gimsen te karire te nga zu samlo tang go res.
So whether it is the Sutric path of perfection or the Vajrayana path that we are following, we need to give thought to the reason as to why we are purifying our minds.
Teni te pe na nga zu chapkang ga nani chite teni maran ro chawi jis nga zu pe zokban ra teni zhe re te yina dong ge tola dari nga zu gong la xia ban ra ore zokba de dang chi니까 직자반 이래요 말이지. 이나 타드 수수래지. 쪽바가 더더당 치고 더더니 찍래요 말이지. 즉 인나가 좀 나면 장마시 탑고 말이 거랑 매반을 지나 마도 장마시 탑고 말이지. 아주 묵다나 어떠니 치코랑 쪽바 착성한다고 누구다 있나 때 쪽바 말이지. 거랑 띠 더더니 나면 찍듯이요 말이 카카 수수래지.
So when we flush water down the toilet, it appears extremely dirty to us, but in actual fact, the water itself is that which contaminates the water, and the water itself are separate from each other. They are not one and the same thing, because if the water was truly contaminated, then it wouldn't be possible to purify it. So the dirtiness or the contaminant or the impurities and the water are inherently separate.
Teni korang chikpa re maybe gimsenji teni chi zokba de teni zangmashi tabgo yores.
And it's because they are not the same thing that it is possible to purify the water.
Teni Singapore pena korang chogo teni yarkab teni chungchung yin teni chida de chogo tongkong yakbo maybe gimsenji teni korang chogo teni chapkang ga nala yobi chide teni sar teni dang de zangmaji ne tonggo yores.
So in Singapore, because it's a small country with relatively scarce water resources, this is what they do. They purify their wastewater and then use it again for drinking purposes.
Teni zangma zosa teni zoda dinala ngarang cheta shi tasa songba yins.
And I intentionally went to have a look around one of their water processing facilities.
Teni korang chogo ngaso tasa tamu tasa ndona korang chogo di chite ngaso la jinggendusi.
And because we went to have a look at their facility, they gave us some bottles of their water.
Teni ngarang di chite shetem kang thongwa yin.
And I drank a whole bottle of it.
Teni sem ganala tez karbondusi sem ganala.
It was a little bit of a struggle in my mind.
Ta ngarang gan thonggo yo bi chite teni Singapore mi chiso zhigya yore. Ta mi chiso zhigya chapkang ga nani shungwa de re samdi sem ganala karbondusi.
6 million.
600万.
Oh, 6 million. 9 million. 6 million. So Singapore has a population of 6 million people, and to think that this water I was drinking came from the toilets of 6 million people was a bit difficult.
Di chite tong chari jila tano chiso jingzhawo dindizila semganala tez marchi padro ndus.
So for a whole hour after drinking that water, my mind was a little bit uneasy.
Yena tengana rang semgan nangtok res.
However, this was just a thought that my mind had given rise to. In actual fact, the water itself was extremely clean and no different from water anywhere else.
Di ngaso chitindi zangma zo tepi gimsen de garazina. Di ngaso chapkang ga nala yobi chi nayang chi derdang. Dani motsangwa derdini zawani chikpa chigyo marezi. Chikpa mare di imbi gimsenji dani ngaso chi jamban rabo dindi zangma zangkyang zo tepi gimsen de deres.
So the reason that we're able to purify water is because the water particles are different from the contaminating particles, and it's because they're separate from each other, different from each other, that we can purify the water.
Tani tindinika derni te chipare meti tini ngaso tini laxerti tini ti churcha sanak laxerti koranga chigo derte gangyinda tini motsang ba derte gangyin tini korang ha go yores.
So because these particles are different, the technology that is used distinguishes between the water particle and the others.
Tindi indi koranga chi derte jerne tini motsang derte par leng yores.
So what they do is they separate, or they filter the contaminating particles from the water.
Tindi len sarvi jini tini korang chite ngamandawo tini korang changma renro gondos.
So after they have extracted the impurities from the water is once again as pure as it always was.
Tani ngacho tarta ngacho sem go tini nangla yopi sem go tini changma cha de dang tini mochang wa cha tini tarta ngacho shirdang tini tana ngacho sem go nangla changma mochang wa tini berna nyomong ban jam jan rawo tini ma to ba ngacho tini nangla changma gareyo ngacho mukutana thong mares ngacho mukutan thong ma ngacho nyamnyung ko tarta tini le laboshi ni tana o ngarang sem go nangla tini go sem changma tini zindu sambate hago mares.
So our minds are like this too. They have a pure elements and impure elements. However, as we currently are, it appears to us as if our entire mind is impure, full of destructive emotions and so forth. And so because of this, we are not able to perceive that in its essence our mind is pure. This is not something that from our from easy experience we're able to perceive about our own minds.
데 가서 무것다는 통거 말하는데 가서 냠뇽거 토건 통거 말이다 옛날 동거 토라 가서 심짱마데당 드니 멋짱와 드니 뇽몽 받더니 직자니 레요 말에서 코란타 남용 코란이 타듯 드니 레마토 드니 직득 겨요 말에서.
So even though we can't see with our own eyes the pure nature of our mind, and we might not be able to experientially perceive it either, nevertheless the basic nature or basic essence, the fundamental essence of our mind and has always been separate from its destructive emotions.
드니 가서 셈거나라 빼빼나 콩초 할레바 침보 랑네 콩초 랑네 드니 그 값이나 뭐빼나 뇽반라고 드니 차피 값이나양 코랑 가서 셈거 짱마가 차디 코랑 남양 드니 쪽바차요 말에 코랑 짱마지니 데데요레스.
Even when we give rise to a great wave of anger, or even when we seem to go crazy, still that pure aspect of our minds always remains in that that state of purity. It never changes.
드니 가서 상나 dorji 타바가 나라 짱마가 차디라 드니 르빠 제거요레스.
So in the Vajrayana teachings, we refer to this pure aspect or nature of our mind as Rigpa.
드니 멋짱와 드니 차디라 드니 가서 남똑 드니 제거요레스.
And we refer to the impure aspect of our mind as namtok, which I guess could be translated as negative thoughts.
드니 가서 베난도 파르신타 바가나라 드니 가서 셈 드니 짱마 지니 데데요 바텔라 드니 대샥 냥보 드니 제거요레스. 가서 도 파르신타 바가나라 셈 짱마 지니 데요 비차텔라 드니 대샥 냥보 지니 드니 제거요레스.
So in the Sutric tradition, we refer to that aspect or nature of our mind that always abides in a state of purity as our Buddha nature.
드니 셈 멋짱와 드니 임비 드니 차텔라 드니 가서 데라 뇽몽 바제 드니 제거요레스.
And refer to the impure aspect of our minds as afflictions or destructive thoughts and emotions.
드니 덴디 인디 드니 당아서 따르타 데니 소소 예와 제고나 당봉 아츠 되니 심 짱마데 가래 마상와데 가래 때 당보 하고 고래 무시고 그래서
So, in order to separate one from the other, the first thing we need to do is be able to recognize what is the pure part and what is the impure part.
베르나 츠상마조야건 철샤디 되니 츠 더당 마상와가 더니까 코랑 하 약보서 하고니 되니 츠 더디 단데 nga랑라 고야레 삼니 설린 마상와가 더디 딩아랑라 고민두산니 파라 도르니 된디 름바 된디 제 싱거요레스 대당라 보승아 초라 고레스.
So it's just like the apparatus that processes wastewater. It needs to be able to discriminate the clean or pure water particles from those that are contaminated, so that it can extract or take the clean part and discard that which is contaminating.
되니 띠니고 무엇이 살위 지니 되니 다 알아서 짱마가 차디 땡아랑라 고야레스를 가서 설랭야당 되니 멋정와 차디 땡아랑 고 민도제 파랍되니 도리야 딘지가 되니 가서디 락서라고데 탑시데 되니 가서라 고레스.
So after we're able to discern that which is the pure aspect and that which is impure, the pure being that which we want and to retain, and the impure that which we want to discard, we need a means or a method for doing so.
되니 가서 짱만 데리스 멋상만 데리스 가서 수수 약보 무시야 되라 가서 가리세 그래 되라 가서 따와세 그래서 따와.
So the recognition or the discernment of that which is pure from that which is impure is what we refer to as the view.
되니 가서 대 따와대 약보스 요차위 지니 대 가서 짱마대 렌 멋상와대 파르도르 든디 그더니 샤와 든디 드피 기름 되라 가서 곰바세 그래서 곰바레스.
And once we've established this view, then the process of extracting that which is pure and discarding that which is impure is what we refer to as meditation.
되니 때 탑시텔라 때니 되니 타마 ngarancho 되니 심 때 짱마데 멋상와데서 파 메바착 되니 거랑 짱마 짱짱 되니 착네 베르나 치 당가랑서 민 통난 통촉종다고 든지 잡고 레피캅스 되니 데라 가서 가르세 데라 가서 드레버세가 요레스 따와당 곰바당 드레버 든지세 레스.
So relying on this method, once we arrive at a point where we have discarded that which is impure and extracted that which is pure, such that in a comparable way to purifying water so that it is drinkable again, we have that which is called the result. So these together form the view, meditation, and result.
되니 제우텔라 되니 가서 가르세 그래 가서 상가 돌지 타파 나라 되니 돌지인 창그 곰팡 된지세 그래서.
And this result that we gain in the end is what we refer to in the Vajrayana teachings as the state of Dorjichang. And in the Sutric tradition, we refer to this as achieving Buddhahood. In actual fact, the meaning is the same. It's just the expressions or terms that are used are different. So, in terms of what Lojong or mind training entails, in a nutshell, this is what it is. So what I'd like to talk about in a little more detail now is of the three that we just mentioned, view, meditation, and result. I'd like to talk a little bit about meditation.
당부 당가서 당부 로종 제위 값스 로중 것들이 곰바데 당보당 니바당 선바들이 곰바 섬 요레스.
So in the course of mind training, there are 3 stages, stage 1, 2, and 3.
드니 당보디 강레지나 아소 로중 것 값들이 님중 것들이 삼바지야 되어고도스.
And the first of these is giving rise to an attitude or a mind of renunciation.
드니 님중 것 삼바지야 때랑 아소 민망보 드니 고아 드니 캠차로온다고 드니 랭기요레스 고아 캠차로온다고 랭기요레스.
In terms of what we mean by renunciation, this is something that many people have a distorted understanding of.
드니 고아 캠차로온다고 간디랭기요레스나 가시게 삼로다나 님중세나 당가랑 잡도 중 드니 잡아드니지 적완다고 고얀다고 딘디즈라 고알랭기요레스.
Some people think that renunciation means necessarily becoming a monk, leaving home.
드니 직딩 샤완서 사마 파르티니 도르작고얀다고 딘디즈라 삼로탄게요레스.
They think that it means casting aside all of one's worldly affairs.
드니 가시게 드니 삼로타나 데코랑 같으니 초와 하레바 같으니 득적 초와 득부 초와 강을 당담바 딘디즈 드니 길고야 딘디즈가 고알랭게요레스.
Some people think that it necessarily means entering into a life of great hardship.
드니 데니까 딜랑 님종세 마레스.
But in actual fact, both of these things are not what we mean by renunciation.
드니 님종세야테 드니 가초 잡아지 마지 딘디가 돈다 자원에 마레스.
So renunciation doesn't hinge on whether we become a monk or not.
드니 가초 초와 약보길 마치 베나 가초 강바 약보고 나라데 강바 득보고 나라데야 드니 베나 가초 랑코리 약보당하다 득보당하 칼가 약보 잡아당 득보 잡아도 딘디 돈다 마레스.
And it doesn't hinge on our lifestyle, whether we live in a nice house or a not nice house, whether we drive a nice car, or eat good food. It doesn't hinge on these things.
드니 베나 과랑 리부 돌아 베나 잡아지니 드니 자치지니 드니 데데 용킨 있나요? 과랑라 님중 맹킨 그뭐 드니 요레스.
There are, of course, people who become monks but do not give rise to renunciation in their minds.
드니 양나 베나 드니 자급 그드니 진정 그드니 드니 고살라 데데 용킨 나오다. 양나 총바나라 가서 잠랑 그 톱든 갑자 지나고世界500强.
Oh, let's say.
어야 든지 그드니 총혼자오 든지 있나요? 거랑라 님중 요 용킨 그 든지 요레스.
There are among the presidents of nations in the world and among the 500 richest business people in the world individuals who have a mind of renunciation.
드니 오나 땅아서 님중제한테 가래라 걸고 그랬어.
So what does renunciation entail?
드니 가서 소소랑 그 멋세라더니 당접 멋세라더니 샤빠땅이 값스 나랑 수삼로다나 가서 내 따따 나랑 그 멋세인들라 삼로다나 리불라 삼로다나 드니 깨야당 게바당 드니 나와당 드니 등을 만본도 드니 셈고 돌아야나 등 아랑랑라 드니 마치바당 드니 녀몽바 드니 만본도 디토라 드니 나랑 미샬라야 드니 판바 접고나 배 니바 총총레 드니 인디 나랑 따따 드니 멀린도 셔당 가서 미 무지야티 드니 심층샬라 투나 배 드니 리스팅 약보레데 이나 다롱 띠나라 다롱 만당 위차 드니 만본도 삼네 대하고 고레스.
So this entails thinking about or reflecting on one's life and seeing that, looking at our physical bodies that that constitute us, realizing that we suffer from the sufferings of birth, aging, illness, and death. That mentally we experience a lot of unhappiness and afflictions. That our benefit or our capacity to benefit others is fairly small, and that even though generally speaking a human rebirth is considered a positive rebirth, there are many insufficient aspects of our current existence.
Tani tindiindi ta ngarang pena sindi thola yenanja. Tani yana ngarang pena kiwa shima kapsa tani ngarang pena tartan rapo chene yang kirer tani zambalong de la yongna ta ngarang tartan rapo yindi tani nge shawa lapchin shawa jachimbo tani chichi driptab ka mendu tani yindi tela tondak chimbo mendu samne te hako gores.
So it's important that we realize that if we are reborn in the next life, much as the same as we are in this life, then we won't be in a capacity to really achieve deeds that are of a great and noble quality.
Di indi tini ngarang ka lipoda, tini ngarang ka sem, te ni te pe tini rembang thumbo, o tindis jego ndo samne semtak jego res.
And then this entails making a firm resolve to improve or to raise one's physical and mental self to a very advanced level.
Tini rembang thumbo zina kandila zegarizina, ngaso kiwa tang, nawa tang, gawa tang, tindi ka dungur menken, o lipote la tindi kerganan che ka dungur menken, ngarang tindis zo go ndo samba.
So when we talk about a high level or an advanced state, well, in terms of our bodies, this means a physical being that does not experience the suffering of birth, aging, illness, and death, making the decision to improve one's self in this way.
Teni nga so rang sim de la yena tarta yena ngarang so sim ganang la teni shem nyang je yang chimbo mepa teni sherab yang teni chimbo mepa o teni zire teni jima ngarang ga teni sim ganang la teni shem nyang je halipa ja chimbo yo pa teni sherab ja chimbo yo pa teni nyumung ba teni dungar tsu pa mepa o teni ga sim de yarje teni tango sambi sim tak chadna teni teni ngimjong res.
And regarding our mental constitution, to recognize that currently our level of compassion and wisdom is limited. However, to make a firm resolve that in the future one will cultivate very great compassion, very vast wisdom, and eliminate afflictions and suffering. And so one needs to really make a firm decision, make a firm resolve to develop oneself towards these goals.
Perna tini kashi khapar ka tini shunir khang kashi khapar ka shunir khang ka tini kashi khapar samba tang jiba tang ngapa tang trigba tang damba tang jepa tang jiba ka parta jewe chevzang tang ndu was.
So in the Apple Corporation, from the iPhone 3 through to the iPhone 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way to the iPhone 9, it has been in a continual process of upgrading itself.
Yeah. Ina ngaso khapar yarji tang go sam go yore ma tong ngarang yarji tang go sam go yo mares.
However, everyone only thinks about upgrading their phones. They don't think about upgrading themselves.
Oh yeah. Oh. Garti ngaso tini samlo tane oh ta perna tini korang kashi khapar tini yarji tangba jindu ngarang ga lipo da ngarang ga sim tenji go ni yarji tang go samni sim tak jenna tela ngimjong se kres.
If a person were to make the decision to upgrade and refine their physical and mental self, just as Apple upgrades and refines its phone, then this would be what we call an attitude of renunciation.
Tendi ni ngaso ming jamba ngaso la jini ngaso nangchu tini ngimjong zia te kandis la ze gre zini ngaso jina tab de pochini lan jabna o karti kashi lekhong go tini shonir khang tini khapar o tini yarje tang ba jinda ngarang ga li tang sim yarje tang go sambi samba yona tila ngimjong ze gre zini lan jamna tin jogores.
So if someone were to ask us what does renunciation mean in Buddhism, then a convenient or a simple answer would be to say the decision to refine and upgrade one's mental and physical constituents just as Apple upgrades continuously its iPhones.
야, 다 딘디인디 나랑서 베나 미 게르라 테니 상로타나 가리제 가준 소와가나라 베나 나랑가 따르타 강바데 로카시기 지라 델레 약 딘디 야르게 땅고 삼바 테니 나랑가 따르타 테니 나랑가 테니 베다 랑코르테 로카시기 지라 델레장 델레 약보 딘디 고삼반라오 야나 나랑가 테니 베나 짐처테 따르타 테즈 럼바 마무레도 테니 네 테니 로 지마가 나라 테니 나랑가 짐처테 야 테즈 약보 제고 삼반라오 가수 남진 가수 소아가 나라 우포 잠바테소 야르게 땅아 테니 톨랑아서 삼로 mambo 땅게요레스.
Normally we spend a lot of time thinking about acquiring better versions of things we have in our material lives, such as houses, thinking about getting a better house in a few years, or a better car in a few years, or upgrading one's computer to a better model in a couple of years. This is something usually that we spend a lot of time thinking about.
Tini ina ngasu samaga tini ngarang rang tini yarje tanggo tini ngasu samguyo marze karte yarje tangna ngasu ta teze lojong rao teze cheyan rao ta lipo jondar teze cheyan rao tini ma to ba zawi toni jisti toni ngarang yarje tanggo samban rao tini ngasu yo mare yarje tangji tini yo na mena ngasu hayang go yo mare shin yo mare.
And it's we however give very little thought to improving or upgrading or refining ourselves. If we do, it's probably just thinking about doing some more study or maybe exercising, training our physical bodies. Very little thought is given to upgrading the essence of our beings. We most of the time wouldn't know how to go about doing this.
Tini sarjega ngasola kari songo yorizena 다페나 저런 그 강바였나 저런 그 랑코리였나 저런 그 잘락 강당 강나 저런 야지 땅도나 대 약보리 저런 야지 땅나 초코레 손이 송구요레스 대 랍트 숑아 마임바 참말라 딘디 송구요레 랍트 숑아 소였나 응우보 야지 mambo 마땅 딘디 송구요레 잠바티소 페나 저런 야지 땅 삼나 대 약보리 저런 땅다 초코레 손이 딘디 송구요레.
And what the Buddha had to say about this was that for everyone, in terms of their houses or their cars or whatever objects they might be, if you want to upgrade or improve them or get better version, that's fine. There's no problem with that. Of course, for non-monastics, monastics in general don't have many material possessions, but the Buddha's attitude was to non-monastics that it's fine to improve one's material conditions.
Tini sarji tini choranga tini choranga ngupo yarji tangna choka re ndikre rete yina zo ti chorang rang yarji tang go re sone te song yo res.
So what the Buddha said was that it's fine for you to improve your material standard of life. However, your core focus should be improving or upgrading yourself.
Tini chorang rang tini yarji li tang semni yarji tang thap sona tini ngaso natun sama tini takchushi tini thap gres.
And what the Buddha taught was that by refining or upgrading one's physical and mental being, that it is possible to address all problems.
Tini karte ngaso soso rang yarji tang matavna tini ngaso ngupo jamba tamchi yarji tang na ndrukje rete yena ngaso teso yarji ganji tang na natun tinti ge jemang jogore sone te song yo res.
And what the Buddha said was that if we don't develop ourselves, then if we're not developing ourselves, then of course we can still continue to focus on developing our material things or our material lives, but the more we invest in this, the greater problems we will incur.
Tinti yendi tangaso tab depo chini shana ndur dini shana ngarang lipo la tini kirga nanchi mepa kirga nanchi dumur mepa tang Teni ngarang ke sem ke nangla nyomung ba me pa ta ngarang tendi yarje tang ke yin samne nga so sem tak jen ni tendi che jana teni te ngimjong res.
So, putting it really concisely in a nutshell, we can say that renunciation is the firm resolve to be free of the sufferings of birth, aging, illness, and death, and to be free from mental afflictions.
Teni te nga so lojong che ser ke teni komba tangbo de res.
So, this is the first stage of mind training.
Teni ta ko te lojong che ser ke teni ramba komba nipa de teni fya ke yins.
And I'd now like to talk about the second stage.
Teni komba nipa de la nga so nangchu na la kare ze gore. Shangship ji sem ze ge ores.
So the second stage we refer to in Buddhism as bodhicitta, the cultivation of bodhicitta.
Teni shangship ji sem ze ade kare ze na ta nga so tari ko na sha songa ngarang ge lipote jerga nan chi dungur me patang ngarang ge tini sem tila nyumung ba me pas me jein sambate ngimjong re ze nga so kong de lap songa ze ta ti thola ota ngarang rang la tini ngarang chikpo la tini jerga nan chi dungur me patang ngarang chikpo la tini nyumung ba me na te chikpo recommendo ne mi changma dang tini simchen changma la jerga nan chi dungur me patang tini simchen changma la nyumung ba me pa teni zinge rokpa che yin samne kwarang tamja che na de shangship ji sem je ores.
So, as we just mentioned before, the attitude of renunciation is one of a firm resolve to be free from the sufferings of cyclic existence, also a firm resolve to be free from mental afflictions. So that's renunciation. But with bodhicitta, we acknowledge that achieving these things for ourselves is insufficient. So just being free from the sufferings of cyclic existence oneself and being free from mental afflictions, in addition to this, we need to work for all the sake of all beings so that they be free from the sufferings of samsara and that they be free from mental afflictions. And so when we make a vow, we firmly undertake to do this, then this is what we mean by bodhicitta.
Teni shangship ji sem te ngaso sem nangla yakpo yung gona yakpo che gona teni sabi saba teni jesang uman rawo te shamdang nyangji te ni gares.
So if we really want to cultivate strong bodhicitta in our minds, then the foundation of this is loving kindness and compassion.
Teni shamba ziyade garila ze grezena te ngaso simjin chama la teni dewa tang damba teni rena samni sim ka tang ne teni samna te la shamba ze gores.
And the loving kindness component of this is the wish from the bottom of our heart that all living beings be happy.
Teni simjin chama la teni dungar me parena sam dungar kaya mena samni ngaso sim ka tang ne teni samna teni te la nyangji ze gores.
And the wish from the depths of our heart that all beings be free from suffering is compassion.
Teni shamdang ji te ni teni ngaso sim ka nang la tambo ni yongkin yang yores mo kashi tambo ni yapon rawo yores.
These two things, loving kindness and compassion, are qualities that we already possess in our mind. Some people, to begin with, possess these qualities quite strongly.
Teni mi mang che shu te la yo sem ka nang la teni shamdang ji yo yore te ina yang ha chang sarwo da teni ha chang jachin bo da teni yo mares.
The majority of people, though, do possess loving kindness and compassion in their heart. However, to begin with, these qualities are not of a really vast and clear nature.
Teni tangbo ni shamnyang ji yakpo yongkin yin nan cha, tangbo shamnyang ji teso yakpo menkin yin nan cha, gang yin na yang cha, garte korang su yongder je na, teni mi sidang sila teni shamdang nyang ji pe chat teni thumbo, teni mi changmala yongres.
Regardless of whether someone has loving kindness and compassion, these qualities to begin with, or whether one doesn't, by means of training, it is possible for everybody to grow these qualities to a very advanced level.
다네 낭추고 나라 드니 상지가 있나 드니 코랑 그 남양 코랑 직진도 드니 셴켄데 코랑인 손에 드니 켈린요 말레스 낭추고 나라제 상지 좀 든데가 드니 직진도 드니 쉐파보데 직진도 셴켄데 아랑인 손에 드니 코랑 남양 켈린요 말레스.
So in Buddhism, the Shakyamuni Buddha never claimed that he was the creator.
드니 가서 멋세가 나라 멋지고 멋세가 나라 요비드니 대화당 등을 나마 나속바데 드니 디 쉐파보데 등 아랑인 손에 상지 남양 켈린 거요 말에 남양 켈린요 말레스.
And the Shakyamuni Buddha similarly never claimed that he was the creator of happiness and suffering.
드니 가서 멋세스가 나라 용위 대화당 등을 다 대소 참마 같으니 쉐파보데 서레제나 교란초 소소 장레 손에 드니 송고요.
But what the Buddha did say was that the various happinesses and sufferings that you experience in your lives, well, as to who the creator of these things are, it is yourselves.
드니 낭추고 나라 드니 가서 로종 제스런라다 드니 그거 점선 mambo 송고요.
So in Buddhism, in the Buddhist teachings, there's a lot of explanation for the reasons for mind training.
이나 점선 때서 담주보 코랑랑 드니 홍보랑가 랑숑고 춘잇 딘지제 송고요.
However, the reasons that are elaborated for mind training are always in relation to the natural law of phenomena.
드니 때마도 때 홍보때서 쉐파보데 나랑 그 제발에 손에 드니 직장 송고요 말했어.
It is never said that these that the Buddha is the creator of any of these phenomena.
딘지 엔딩 가서 질라페나 샴냥지 인난자 드니 가서 드니 강당강이나 베나가랑서 사 통보 드니 소소랑 야기 땅 고나양 드니 소소랑 드니 바빠 제나 드니 접탑그레서 니 드니 송고요레스.
And what the Buddha further taught was that if one wishes to cultivate an advanced state of compassion or another quality in one's mind stream, then through one's own diligence this is achieved.
베나가서 낭추고 나라 드니 레김제 드니 게와 듬나 텔라 대밤 종야다 드니 득바 사나 텔라 등을 종야 드니 그 레김제가 남작 드니 mambo 송고요레스.
So in the teachings regarding karmic cause and effect, there's a great deal expounded on this, the fact that positive actions beget positive results, negative actions beget negative results.
예나한테 리김제가 남작때 시바포때 때 종컨때 상지영 손에 송고요 말레스 때 상지가 때케 나랑 그 수바레 때니 송고요 말레스.
However, it is never said that the creator or the originator of karmic cause and effect is the Buddha. The Buddha, it's never said this, the Buddha never claimed this.
드니 상지샤자타파 드니 로통창니다 납작 공라 드니 조 드니 숑바레스.
The Shakyamuni Buddha existed 2,500 years ago.
드니 가서 레 게와 듬나 대밤 종아다 득바상나 머기밤 종아티 랑숑고 추니때 But
the natural law of karmic cause and effect, that positive yields positive cause yields positive result, and negative causes yield negative results, is a natural law that was operative many millions of years prior to this. So in both the Mahayana teachings and the Hinayana teachings, there is one word that is used in this context.
대비전 삭반남 쇼양롱 맙쇼양롱 추남지 추닌남 네바고 오지 그래서 대 가리지 돈닥치레지나 산지 샤자타바 드니 미인직된라 쇼나양 초 마쇼나양자 강터는 가서더니 레짐제다 디수 거라테 거랑랑 슝구 추니 거랑 네 요레송네 딘디송 디돈다 그래서
And this quote was to the effect of, regardless of whether the Buddha came or did not, or whether the Buddha arose or did not, phenomena always abides as it does. So this is really to just say that karmic cause and effect and other natural laws are existent and true regardless of whether the Buddha appeared or not in the world.
딘디인디 아주 베나 샴냥제다 드니 님종다 대수 참마에나 소소랑거 용들제나 소소랑거 질라 샴냥제양 계열의 님종의 계열의 참마 당보 메파니 요파 드니 요파니 야르지 딘디 용거레스 소소랑거 받춘 제탐나.
And so for qualities such as compassion and renunciation, these are things that everyone is able to cultivate in their own mind streams. Everyone, through their own diligence, is able to progress themselves from a state of having none to having some to having a great deal.
드니 다리 아주 공라 샤송와 데 샹십 그 셈 그더니 짜바데 샴당냥지인 제네 딘디 드니 송고요리 디 샴냥지데 아주 셈춘 슬라드니 제고레제나 셈춘 참마라드니 잠님 그고니 샴냥지 제고 손에 딘디 송고요리.
So as we just said, the basis or the foundation of bodhicitta is loving kindness and compassion. And who is the object, or who are the objects for our loving kindness and compassion? Well, the teachings tell us that these are to be generated towards all living beings.
드니 때베나 가서 출거 드니 베나 타파가 왕거 베나 가서 능발라 타파ချင်း겐솔라 드니 샴당냥지 제고제야다다 델리 잠발라 머고제야다오 딘지 마리 출거 타파 강당강연나 출거 강디즈라 타파ချင်း겐나 창말라 샴당냥지 제고손이 딘지 송고요레스.
And what the teachings also say is that loving kindness and compassion are to be exercised, extended to all beings, not just Buddhists, not just people with faith in Buddhism, but people from all backgrounds.
드니 가서 출루 잠바 따드니 타파 잠바 용켄 그드니 미소라 드니 당린 제밥 조바지나 바오종 디 가서 드니 조바 참마가 나니 안 당부디인 손이 드니 송요레스.
And the teachings also say that, or the first thing that they mention with regards to this is the tolerance and acceptance of people from other religious traditions.
팀도 당전 잘보세요. 사모티 왕지. 도 당전 잘보세요. 티나라 송요레스.
This is what is taught in the King of Samadhi Sutra.
드니 양아서 베나 르크토니 드니 다 머르크티니 드니 예와 드니 자만자 양만아 가서 머짓 그 예와 드나 머르베나 머르카르보 머르드니 세르보 드니 양 머르 잠반라오 딘지 예와 지직메바 심신 참마라 드니 르크 참마라 드니 샴냥지 셰고 송고요레스.
And it's also taught that loving kindness and compassion should be extended to people of all races, all ethnicities, all beings.
드니 양아서 베나 미식볼라 드니 지 샴냥지 곰바라오 딘지 마임바 메다 드니 쪽사다 잠바 던존라오다 참마라디 잠님 그거니 샴냥지 셰고 딘지 송고요레스.
And it's also said that loving kindness and compassion is not simply to be extended to humans, but also to other living beings, animals of various kinds, other life forms. So loving kindness and compassion need to be extended equally to all sentient life.
가르딩 아슨 잠발랑가 미 동시르 드니 던치 담바가 나니 나랑가 무식 라드니 삼로다니 민드 드니 네 등어당 트라나 네 삼금은 코랑 등어요나 나랑 가르가인 데 코랑 대화당 단나야 나랑 삼금은 거랑 대와 매나가랑 가르가는 삼바로 든지 삼로 요소나 잠 못동실 등근하니 무식라 든지 삼로 요소나 어떠니 알아서 시험단양 제때 든지 차마창와 당든지 sadden 마임바 든지 쓰요레스.
If of the 7 billion people on the planet, there is just one person to whom we wish that they not be free from suffering and that we would rather feel glad if they were suffering, or rather if there was even just one person who we didn't wish to be happy but would feel rather glad if they weren't happy, then in this case, if we felt this way, then our loving kindness and compassion would be incomplete. This would not be meet the level required.
Teni karte pena shanship sem goteni nyamlin tarta teni je jemba tenji muz yennazi shanship sem ko nyamlin korang she jemba shanship sem ko domba yongken gum tenji yenna karte pena korang ga mischi la sam lo tani o minde ngarang gapo me teni korang la dungor yona yang teni ngarang gapo yen ngarang jisi yerang yen teni korang dewa mena teni ngarang gawe samni tinji samsona teni korang shanship senhwa ga teni domba te tang garjo ore sone tinji pe sap chimbo songyo res.
And for a person who is in possession of the bodhisattva vows, if there is just one person who they give rise to a feeling of dislike and wish that they suffer, or feel that they'd be rather happy if they suffered, or would be rather happy if they weren't happy, then this would be in conflict with their bodhisattva vows, and this is regarded as a very serious matter.
So this
kind of loving kindness and compassion is of a very high level. And where we presently stand to cultivate this level is pretty challenging.
지마티니 냐제 요바 테니 냐제 요피 마츠티니 냐제 틴디 페 산통보 냐제 든디 아주 상말라티니 계탑 그레스.
However, through practice, through meditation, it is possible to transform ourselves from people who, to begin with, have no compassion and loving kindness whatsoever, to gradually having some, until eventually we have a very advanced level of both of these qualities. This is something that is a potentiality for every single person.
테니 아주 타바 침보 나라 테니 측배 가 침보 틴디 측지요레스 측니요레스.
In the Mahayana teachings, there are two sayings that are very important. Whether we could say it's two words, we could say it's one word, either way is okay. Oh, let's say. It's in the Flower Garland Sutra.
Teni ngacho korwali gargos inang korwata capture manin soni tini songo yores. Chao yu longkoi putoli
long. And these words are, or these lines are, we need to transcend cyclic existence, but not separate ourselves from cyclic existence.
Teni korwali gargos yati karezena pena ngacho mystic tini chenang la kerni rona. Tini ngarang muti chinang ni yar lenna ngarang rang ti chikala yulgo ores karti ngarang rang chinang la longona ngi miti lentab ko mare ngarang chikala nduni tini muti yar lengo ores.
So in terms of transcending samsara, we can sort of imagine it in terms of a person who has fallen into a water and is being carried along in a current. If we are going to save them, it's important that we stand on the edge of the river to pull them out. If we fall in ourselves, then it's not too good.
Teni yenayang teni ngarang pena ti chitinala ti tabar teni mi mambo teni chi teni kerk teni yona. Ti yenna pe ngarang chikala dego ore chenangla denyang marita yennayang ngarang chikala tabar dego ore namina ngarang chikala yogo ore yona teni mi chi kerona ni kerona nge changma lentab gores.
However, if there are a lot of people who are stuck in the water like this, then in order for me to rescue them, it's necessary that I constantly sit on the side or stand at the side of the river to pull them out one by one.
Pena Australia tini jamso kala changthom boyo saga nangla tini mi mambo rangchok chokoyores.
For example, in Australia, there's a really high cliff that many people jump from and commit suicide.
Tini mischik te la deni takbar tini me rangchok chengen ga mate thon yung wi kapse tini mete sola khabda je mete sola semso je tini jene tini mi mambo tini sok kyobares.
And there was a person who once often stood at the top of that cliff and would talk to people who were contemplating suicide and comfort them, and in this way saved many lives.
Tenti yendi pena mate korang takbar tini mutso rangchok cho saga tini chaka khati la korang deyores korang namkin tina deyores.
And so this person always waited here at the top of this cliff.
Tini korang tina la dego re mato karang korang tina la mendugni pena korang sini chongchen rawo tini zikana la songni ndugna tini mi mambo sok jena korang sok kyob thub kumares korang tela mena.
So it was important that he waited there at the cliff, that he was actually standing there waiting for people. If he had not been there, if he'd say gone into the middle of the Sydney city, then he wouldn't have been there to save them when they were about to jump off.
Tini tetan rapo shini nga tso shangship sem thaba chimbo ina nga tso korwa tang kapter nyanga mar kyorang namyong korwa nga nangla dego re songo yores.
So that's why, with regards to bodhicitta, we talk about remaining in cyclic existence, remaining in samsara.
Tini kyorang korwa nga nangla madena, tini korwa murg nga tso nik murg tini nawa nga makosa tini zila dena, korwa nangla yopi mite sola tini pamba driptab ko yomares.
Because if we are not in cyclic existence, if we're in another place where we can't see what's going on or we can't hear what's going on, then we won't be able to be of benefit to any beings.
Di gemsenji nga tso tini korwa le gargo inang korwa tang kapter manin tini songores.
So that's why we speak of needing to go beyond, transcend samsara, but not be apart from it.
Teindi tini ngarang so semna la tabdu chene nga tarong kewa jima ta tini jima ta ti jima tini molo chipchak mambo ta molo tongchak mambo la ngarang jikting gato la ngarang tarong yungu yin samne takba chimbo te sam go res.
So as Mahayana practitioners, it's necessary to always make the resolve to return again and again and again for millions of lifetimes to come, to return to cyclic existence.
Yongna ti kapsa tini ngarang kanri chine yong go res na ngarang tartan rabon tini chine yongna ngimi samala pantok mendo wa te tondak mendo sam gres.
However, we need to realize that returning to cyclic existence in the state that we are currently in isn't of much use.
The tindi indi penangaso mi tini kashi zangaso mi kashi rungo lanjona tini tinala pena min michi tini napa tindi ziona tini ngarang napa nar jinte tini rungo la mitiso rokpa lanjona tini mitiso la pantok toko mare mitiso la pantok matapa matsat tini mitiso la kabli mambo chegres.
So if someone retreats to the mountains, then people who are
pena nga tsu makashi z rungo lanjona tini tin mitiso chola pena napa chik tini mitiso tablan jona tini mi napa ti mitiso la pamba mepa matsat tini koso la kabli mambo to gores mi napa ti korang napa rewa koso
다른 종스 고마소.
koya
디 네파 디
pena makashi z rewa makashi z tini te korang su shilo lan jona oya tini mu jamba z tena nyamden jona mitiso to nyamden shilo lan jona karti korang pena napa z yena miti tini mtisola roba chita kumaro koran naparwa tini mtisola kabli mambo tegres koran mtiso sir roba chi gundwa otir ya.
Okay, so if a couple of people are going into the mountains and somebody who is sick goes along with them, then not only is that sick person unable to be of benefit to the others, but they also inconvenience the others too.
yana pena mo khashis tini mo chithamba tini ngacho pena sahara tindigo tini shima shethang chimbo yorwa tindizla tini drona mo chotila chinyonyong zma to mena tini ngarang rangla chime ngarang rangla chitsawane mena ngacho nga muti chota nyamden drona tini ngi muti chola kable chegres korang chogo chiti ngalayon tegundwa de korang chogo chiti mjobo mebari chakres ngi kochola kable chegres.
So it's the same if, say, 10 people are going into a desert like the Sahara Desert and they don't have much water to start with. If I go along with them carrying no water whatsoever myself, then I'm causing trouble for these people. Not bringing any water, they're going to need to give me water, and this way their water supplies will dwindle very quickly.
Teni ngarang jablogla chimambo zateni keji yona teni ngammate chodan nyamdan rona teni nga mteso nyamdo poba chimboshinin ro chokore te korang chogo chit zat sondi de nge chit kosola ta chokore mitso sok ngarang parkyo top gores.
However, if I were to carry a lot of water on my back, then I could go along with them with great confidence, knowing that when their water supplies are exhausted, I'll be able to give them some and I'll actually be able to rescue lives.
Tendi yendi ngarang la chim mepi kapsa
So it's not okay that when I don't have any water, I go along with them. I can't go along with them when I don't have water myself. However, when I do have a lot of water myself, then I must go along with them. I necessarily should go along with them. So this is what we mean when we talk about transcending cyclic existence but not being apart from it. So we first need to find a method of getting water for ourselves. And once we've secured that water, then we have to go along with the others.
Teni ngarang tambo pe na nga chimepi kapsu kosoda nyamdan rona te kosola no pare pambamendos.
To begin with, at the beginning when I didn't have any water, if I were to go along with them, I'd only harm them and cause problems.
Teni ngarang chimambo yo charwi jini ngarang rang chintone keposhini dene kosoga nyamdan mandrona yang teyang jigyo mare te kosola pamba jetop ko mares.
However, once I've secured lots of water just to sit on my backside drinking the water very happily is also not okay. It's of no benefit whatsoever.
Teni TND ta ngarang yindamanda ngarang chimambo yobatin de tapsiche yen samni sentakjeya tela ngimjungse kres.
So that really firm resolve to find a means to acquire lots of water is what we refer to as renunciation.
Teni ngarang chimambo yo charwi jini ngarang yindamanda mutsotan nyamdan royen sambatela shanship ko semze kres.
And once we've acquired that water, the firm resolve to go along with these people on their voyage is what we call bodhicitta. So just putting it in really simple terms, this is what we mean with renunciation and bodhicitta. So the first thing we need to do is to transform ourselves from having no water to having water. And once we have water, we need to go along with the others. And this decision or this resolve is mind training. So that's the second stage of mind training. And I'd like to just talk briefly about the third stage now.
되니 somebody 강레지나 나 베나가서 치고나라 먹상와 딘디 요피 값스 되니 치고나라 먹상와 요나양 치코랑 그 더티 짱마 짱짱 바티 담보 하고 고레 제네 공당가 딘디 랍송아지.
So we spoke before about how we need to understand that water, when it appears to be impure, in actual fact isn't. This is something that we need to understand.
되니 따당아서 셈데 되니 짱마 임바데 코랑 냠뇽고고니 하고 고레스.
So it's important that we, at this stage, gain an experiential understanding of the purity of our minds.
되니 가서 배차가 돌아 따나가 저더니 낭추고 나라 노다 항다 뜻수나라 티코르티 빼 할리바 mam보송요레스.
Of course, if we are to read books, read texts, this is discussed a great deal in the sutras and tantras.
되니 땡가서 고아가 돌아 로종제고나 빼 레라보레스.
And of course, it's very easy for us to gain an intellectual understanding about this.
옛날에 땡가서 배차가 돌아가서 하고야 되라 되니 시륵 제거요레스 시륵 제거요레 마토바 되니 따와 똑바다 되니 제거 말레스.
However, this kind of intellectual understanding is only a kind of knowledge. We only refer to it as knowledge. It's not wisdom.
땡가서 배나 낭추고 나라 디츠코르텔라 고와당 시바당 덴디제거 마토바 똑바 덴디제거 말레스.
So in Buddhism, we would refer to this as knowing or understanding. We wouldn't refer to it using the word realization.
되니 똑바지야 돼 되니 가서 수수 셈 거더니 땅제구나 셈 과랑 그 오라 때 짱마 짱짜연 바디 과랑 그 냠뇽 그거니 배 서로 사정신이 하고 그래서 냠스뇽 그래서.
So in order to talk about a realization of the purity of the mind, this is something that needs to take place through an experiential understanding of the crystal clear nature or purity of the mind.
되니 소소랑 그 셈티니 되니 똑바 제아티 맞죠 저 되니 하다 되니 대소다 진 레바요 말 소소랑 그 셈 그거 하고 와레스.
So when we talk about realizing the nature of mind, this isn't something that doesn't have anything to do with a god or anything. This is something that the mind realizes or has to realize itself.
되니 상지 의나가 솔라 되니 디 탑시대가 솔라 롭고요레스 상지.
But the way of doing this, or the method for doing this, is what the Buddha taught us.
이나 탑시대 롭자비 지니 똑바데서랑 그 똑고 그래서.
However, after having taught us the method for doing this, it's ourselves who actually has to go about the realization.
옛날 다른 때는 가서 상지급 신럽제한다다 라마가 신럽제한다서 잠바 몽부요레.
Of course, we still talk a lot about the blessing of the Buddha and the blessing of one's Lama.
되니 대소가 솔라더니 똑비더니 쪽시 그래서 쪽시 그래 옛날 똑띠 소소랑 거 똑고 그래서.
And these are forms of assistance to our process of realization, or they're accompaniments to our process of realization. But we ultimately need to realize ourselves.
되니 가서 소소 셈 되더니 짱마당 되니 된디가 양딱 되니 짱마 짱짱연 바되니 하고 냠뇽 그 똑살이 지니 내가 저 짱마 차대야 제망 저레스 잭서 저레스.
So once we have gained an experiential realization of the purity of our mind, then that pure aspect, or the pure aspect of our mind, grows greater and greater, or increasingly lucid.
되니 멋상와가 되니 창아서 셈고 멋상위 차대 말 제뇽 저레스.
And the impure aspects of our mind become increasingly few.
되니 탈 아주 셈고 나니 멋상와 창마 매바치하네 되니 창마 짱짱 되니 착그레스.
And ultimately, we arrive at a point where all of the impurities of our mind are eliminated completely.
어따 딘디 고니 가서더니 심짱마 딘디 rim바진데 딘디 곰바땅보 곰바니파 곰바sam바 딘디 조야텔라 디샤와텔라 가서 남긴 가서 로종제네 딘디 타바침보다 딘디 캬버도 보그 딘디 상 도르지타파나라 딜라 로종 손에 딘디 송고요레스.
So this gradual or graduated process of purifying the mind step by step is what we refer to as Lobjong or mind training in the Mahayana teachings and especially in the Vajrayana teachings.
Tini terang nga tso tini chachati nangla tini Lobjong zeaga tini mang tela nga tso reshit gyabni Lobjong zea tini dizela zegres ni ta mang tela reshit gyabyan rago tini zres.
So what I've done in this teaching tonight is explained what we mean by this term mind training.
Tani ta nga so jongona tani ta thapsing ngoma kari go rezi lagling kan go rezi na tani nga so tarung tele kyang tangza poshini jang go re ma to terang nga so ji cheyo mares.
However, if we are actually going to go about doing this in terms of how we should proceed in terms of method, this is something that we need to continue to learn much more about. We haven't gone into this at all tonight.
Tani di nga so laglin la tani devya te lagling ngoma te ta nga so rimbe lojong che go re te nga so dina lama dang kambo ta chirka dang tani mangbo jingdwa tani khorang cho tani zhongne te che so lojong rimbe shi tani so nyamlin chi ne te gerambon da won charge jarne tani che na te rimji chezang ro res.
So to actually implement this mind training, to actually engage in its practice, then this is something that needs to be done gradually, step by step, processually. Tonight we have lamas and kempos and trukuls in our midst to go and study with them and to make a long-term practice plan. By proceeding in this way, it is possible to increasingly purify one's mind.
Tini tera nga tsu tsangma nga tsu chachati tini pe zabzab chini nyansong tini tsangma la tikji chi
Today everyone listened so carefully to the teaching, and so thank you very much.
Tini nga tsu nguwaz tini chegiyins.
So we're going to conclude now with a dedication.
Tini nguwaz ya tini ngarang tsu tini terang tini chu chepa chu nyamba tini gewa te tini nga tsu simchin tsangma la par gosha gyab giyin samba te la nguwaz gres.
So this aspirational wish to share with all beings the merit that we have generated through the giving and listening to this teaching is what we mean through dedication.
Tini gosha gyabni tini nga tsu getsa te par gosha gyab sawi jini tini nga tsu gosha gyab pate la tini tini simchin tsangma la tini nirkabsi tsangma la demo kepo tini yongya tseranga ya nabme pa tini yongya tang tini mi tsangma ya na simchin tsangma tini ta soso tini tarwa tini toba tini tondo tini ngarang ke getsa te par simchin tsangma la jingyin sabna tila tini nguwaze gres.
So after sharing this merit with all beings, the wish that in the short term that they enjoy happiness and long life and be free from illness and ultimately achieve liberation, this wish is a dedication.
Tini tindiga nguwa ta molum gone tini nga tso tindiga molum semnang la tindi samne tini nga tso nguwa she go res.
So let's now make this dedication with this prayer in our hearts.
Sonum de damje zamba nya domne nyimbe dana baje yerga nanje walon jba zbin zolen joa jor sho la basum de ngem zamba ni be zodie nendara yonga ta de jadu jawe jamde ta de jobjere nyimbe dra shi sho Oma Om Ban Zernger Bama Sede Hong Oma Om Ban 야, 두지치.
Thank you very much.